And yet further stories, Rabbi Yochanan's death. Rabbi Yochanan was learning with Reish Lakish, maybe inadvertently led to Reish Lakish's passing away, but this is the famous Gemara Chavrusa Omitusa, and then they tried getting another Chavrusa for Reish Lakish. Most notably, the name was Rabbi who was it? Rabbi Elazar ben Pedas. He didn't. He just agreed with him the whole time, and he didn't like it, and he went crazy. And then the Ba'u Rabbanan Rachame Alea Benach Nafshe. The rabbis davened on him that he should die. So again, the concept is Meisir Hamonea. They prayed to take away the thing that was protecting him to keep him alive. That's the understanding of what it meant. Ba'u Rabbanan Rachame Alea Benach Nafshe. Same concept with Choni Hamagel, who went crazy when they didn't know who he was. Chalashtate ba'a rachame umes. What does it mean that they prayed for him to die? Meaning that he had special skulot that were keeping him alive, and they prayed to remove the skulos so that he could pass away. Moshe's case of Meser Hamonea. So Bamidbar Rabbah talks about how Moshe was told by Hashem that he will live as long as they haven't taken revenge on the Midyanim. So really, if the Bamidbar, the Medrash says, Ilu haya rodse Moshe lichios kama shanim hayachai. If he wanted to live so many years, he could have lived, because Hashem said, Nikom va'achar te'asef. First take revenge, and then you'll pass away. But he, right away after he was told that, he went out against Midian. So he hastened his own death because he wanted the Jews to be able to take revenge against Midian. But again, he was taking away that special privilege. It wasn't like he was actively pursuing his own death. The famous Gemara in Nedarim, Rabbi Akiva was visiting the sick, and he said, "Kol mishem mevaker cholim kilu shofech dam." And whoever doesn't go mevaker cholim is like they're spilling blood. And in the end of that Gemara, it says, really, kol she'ein mevaker sacholim mevakish alav rachamim sheyamus sakadaitach ela kol she'ein mevaker cholim. Whoever does not go and visit the sick, ein mevakish alav rachamim, you're not going to be able to pray for that person. Lo sheyecha v'lo sheyamus. Not that they should live, not that they should die. What does that mean? So the Ran says that sometimes it's good to be mevakish rachamim ala chol sheyamus. You should pray for them to die. It's sort of like we were saying, that you take away the zechus that they have. You're praying to take that away, not to actively kill them, chas v'shalom, but to take that protection away, to allow them to die, so the suffering is less. And he quotes the Gemara that we talked about, the handmaid with Rebbe, that we talked about earlier. Rav Moshe Feinstein says the Ran cites the Gemara in Kesubos, referring to the above as proof that it is indeed the proper response for those who want to do the mitzvah of visiting the sick. We see that the Ran assumes that the maidservant's opinion is recorded as the final halacha. This is an excerpt from Igros Moshe. Therefore, a patient is terminally ill and in intractable pain, so that there is no hopes of surviving, to prolong his life, it is improper to do so. A patient should be as comfortable as possible, left without any intervention. I must emphasize that it is absolutely forbidden to do anything or to provide any drug that will shorten the patient's life for even a moment. To do so would be an act of murder. So I put this here because this is a direct discussion of this famous Ran that is discussing this Gemara of Rabbi Akiva. Again, it's under it's a story about mercy killing Meser Hamonea, and it's a source commonly referred to when discussing this concept of euthanasia. The Torah does say in Mishlei, it says, Eis laledes ve'eis lamus, Eis latas, Eis la'akor, to Eis lamus. So the Sefer Hasidim says, Kisha Adam goses, Kisha Nefesh Adam Yotza, Ein Soakim Alav Shetashim Nasha. You shouldn't you shouldn't pray as they're dying that they should have the return of their of their life, because basically it's the opposite of Beisir Hamonea, um, because they're going to suffer. So we see this concept uh, by the story of Rabbi Akiva, by the story of Rebbe and the handmaid, by the description of the Ran and the Igros Moshe's explanation of that. And the next thing we're going to do is finally delve into the halachos regarding end of life after we've discussed all those Gemaras and all of the biblical background. Now, finally, we're going to get to some halachas regarding end of life situations.